Thanks for joining us on the news that makes us drink. I'm Nikki Medoro with my cocktail. That's Kim McCallister with hers. And who gets to make the rules when you vote? That's a question we're going to be discussing today. Is $18 billion enough to change how your kids use social media? And then seriously, I have a question that I've been kind of pondering as a 49er fan. If selling sex is illegal, does putting a camera in the room change absolutely everything? So all that is coming up on the news that makes us drink. But first, Kim McCallister.
What's in the old Nikki Medoro cup?
Okay, so I called this was my idea. I'm calling this the mea culpa, like an apology, like Meta's apology. Sorry, we ruined your kids' like mental health. Sorry, this is my mea culpa. But if you guys notice on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, there is a poll because some viewers and Patreon members, our paid Patreon members, have given some ideas. Okay, so here are a couple of them. I love this one for old Dolly. Heather Kennedy writes in the 9 to 5 cocktail. I think it's so cute. She even gave us a recipe. Heather writes, it's a 1.5 ounce of vodka, 1/2 ounce of elderflower liqueur, 1 ounce of cranberry juice, 1/2 ounce of fresh lemon juice, 1/2 ounce of simple syrup, and then pink sanding sugar. Excuse me, dog.
Oh.
Stop. Pink sanding sugar for the rim and a lemon wedge. That looks cute in my mind. Absolutely cute. So she says, rub the lemon wedge, put the sanding sugar, and then put everything in and shake it up. And it's bright pink and gorgeous for Dolly. Rest in peace, which we will be talking about more towards the end of the show. And then Karen Cooper, I love it. She came up with 3. Karen came up with metamorphosis, metamorphine, and then this one's interesting. This one kind of I like the best out of Karen's. Palometa. Because apparently palometa is a type of fish, and so you could drink like a fish. So I like where your mind goes, Karen.
They're cute.
They're very, very cute. So I absolutely love the ideas. Again, if you guys have drink ideas now, or if you're drinking during the week and there's a story that's making you drink, come up with a cocktail name for it. Let us know, and we will share it during the show. Put it in the comments, all those sorts of things. So, but thank you guys for sending those in. And at the end of the show, we'll take a look at our poll and see which one people like best. Okay, but let's get right into our top headline. Meta. They have reached an landmark $18 billion settlement with states over social media addiction among teens. Okay, I want to discuss, though, the idea of guardrails. I think it was Teacher Lori that was talking in the comments before the show of, how are they going to enforce it? Obviously, Meta has come out and says this is really only going to work if like YouTube and TikTok also do it. But it's not something people haven't been asking for a long time. Nearly 2/3 of Americans believe children under 16 should not be allowed on social media at all. Okay, 35% said it should be an all-encompassing, countrywide policy that minors under the age of 16 should not be allowed on social media. 27% agreed, but believe parents should still have discretion on the matter. 1 in 5, about 17%, believe it should be a family decision. And then an overwhelming 55% believe it's the parents' responsibility to protect kids online, and just 10% saying it is the duty of social media companies. So we're going to start off with that question. Who do you think is ultimately responsible for not only how we use social media, how much we use social media, but how we limit it? Should the onus be placed on the actual social media companies? Like, it is built in. Should it be up to the user? Like, you know what? If I feel I can handle it, you can't, I can, that's it. Parents, if we're talking about teens, should it be a family decision? Let us know in the comments, because I'm a little torn on this idea of guardrails simply as a mom. And you know this, Ken, with teenagers, they will find any way to get around it that they can. Another great question is, how are they going to prove it? I have safeguards because I put screen time from my phone to my kid's phone, right? But I am positive that the cat's out of the bag as far as like the apps, right? Like, what What are they going to put? They're going to put my birth date. Like, how are you proving that not only is a kid 16 and under, but that isn't an adult? Like, are we scanning IDs? Do we feel comfortable with that? Do I want my kids scanning their new driver's license into a social media company or into TikTok? I wonder, having a rule is only as good as how you're able to enforce it. And I just don't know, Kim, if this is truly enforceable or if this is just like Meta being like, okay, we'll try it. But we know that the kids are going to get around it.
See, I look at it as two different issues. All right. First of all, you and I both have daughters the same age and sons nearly the same age. But when our daughters got their phones, and I think that mental health online is more, it seems to be, studies have shown that girls are more affected than boys, right?
Of course, yes.
Okay. So we knew that going in. So when they're 13 and they get their phones, the first thing they do is ask for Snapchat.
Yeah. Or
and
TikTok
Instagram,
or something. Yes,
and
absolutely.
And so then that becomes us. We know this. We pay attention to the news. We know what's happening. We know about the challenges of social media and mental health. So it becomes, I think, our responsibility as parents to limit, to say no, to push back, to say, here's why, and to educate them as to, comparing yourself to other people and all of these things, because they really want it. But the other side of the coin is that during this trial, there was a whistleblower that said Mark Zuckerberg knew that this happened, knew what they're serving up, knew that they make the scrolling addictive, knew, whatever it is, knew that what he was doing would present mental health challenges for teens, was told this, and then went ahead and did it anyway. Now, that's different than my responsibility as a parent to limit. Because what you're telling me is he was more interested in making money and getting kids addicted to this product than he was about their mental health. And for that, I think, I don't know if 17 billion is really a dent in his pocketbook, because he has so much money that it's probably like a drop in the bucket. But I feel like he is responsible in this way. And so he needs to do things now to make up for that, to make up for the people that he hurt, and to ensure that kids still coming up are not affected in the same way that our daughters or their age range was affected. Absolutely. Without any. What is it?
Cape Cod.
Oh, Cape Cod.
Oh, hello.
Happy
Cheers.
Cape Cod to you.
Happy. Cheers. I agree with you. And let's do a cheers to Harry for the $5 donation. He says Meta's settlement is like a software update, promising to fix everything, but just ends up slowing you down and crashing their reputation.
Oh, that's really boozy. Ooh.
Oh, good. Get her hammered. I disagree. I feel like even if $18 billion, like Kim was saying, is a drop in the bucket, which it is, he makes money hand over fist. It is the message. It is the message. It is, what are we saying? Do all of these companies now, because again, just because they did this settlement, states are still suing, schools are still suing, like Meta's not out of it just because they paid this $18 billion settlement. But what are we actually saying? Like, if we decide that social media is a harm, like a serious harm to our kids, why 2 hours? Because that's the proposed limit, is 2 hours of social media for kids. If it's harmful, it's harmful. It's like saying, and I know it's not exactly the same thing, but cigarettes are harmful, so kids can only have one. It's like, well, is it or is it not? Is it or is it not?
Okay, but then part of the social media addiction and compulsion is the fact that they feed you story after story, because they make money by keeping you there as long as they can. They want you to spend 7 hours on your social media. The longer you stay, the more money they make. Right? Yeah. And the more ads you see. So I get limiting. Limiting is better. And if you're, what happens to girls on social media is that, I'm comparing myself to Nikki. Yeah. Look at, she has a better life. Look at, she has cuter clothes and more people like her, and she's getting more likes, and she's skinnier and she's funnier and she's better. And look at my life. And it becomes this, and the longer you spend on it, right, the more depressed you get. So is any of it good? No. Do we have to have everything in healthy moderation? Perhaps social media is like French fries. right?
Yeah. I mean, but where does parental responsibility come in? Let's just say this. Okay, well, so there's a 2-hour limit, right? It helps. I agree with you
Mm-hmm.
there that it's something, right? And they're also going to end the endless scroll for
Mm-hmm.
teens, or the likes and like the counting of the likes, so people are comparing that number as well. Okay, okay, but some of these things I feel like would be good for all of us, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
why
100%.
why do we think, okay, yes, we want to protect the children. Yes, we do, because they're vulnerable. But I don't see many parents putting the same guardrails on themselves. I'm guilty of it. I told you about this app, this Screen Zen that I've been using on my Facebook page,
Mm-hmm.
and it's completely reduced the amount of time I spend on Facebook and completely increased the amount of time I spend on other social media platforms. I'm just going to be
Yeah.
completely honest. I can't get on Facebook right now. I'll go on Instagram, right? Like, I want to scroll. And then all of a sudden I realize, ugh, stop it. So I actually want to extend it because I have significantly reduced the amount of time. I've never broke my streak. They give you 9 times to check Facebook a day. You can only check it for, I think, less than 20 minutes each time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great. Like, I've never broken my streak, and I've never actually used all of them.
Can you see my phone?
Yeah,
Oh,
kind of.
it might be too hard to
A
see
little
it.
bit.
Okay,
Okay.
so there's this on the bottom part. This popped up. I don't know if my husband put this app on to like make me understand how much I'm on my phone or what.
Right.
But it's new. It pops up. It says, today I've spent on my phone 7 hours and 41 minutes. What?
Okay.
It doesn't feel like it. How is that possible when I've been, talking to
Right.
you, and I talked to David Schuster for a couple hours on the Mark Thompson show. I did my own show. So what do you mean I've been on social? I don't know if it measures if you just happen to leave a window open
Right.
or what. But it says
Well,
I've spent 2 hours and 51 minutes on social media today. What? It says on entertainment, I've spent 2 hours and 13 minutes. And on games, I've spent 1 hour and 4 minutes. I don't even know what it's talking about. Facebook, 1 hour, 34 minutes. YouTube, 2 hours and 13 minutes.
wow. I mean, that's a lot.
On messages, 42 minutes. Gmail, 41 minutes. I think they're full of crap. But it does make you look at that and examine how much time you truly are spending.
Well, mine's not accurate. So mine says 7 hours and 39 minutes today, but they're
Mhm.
counting the fact that I leave my phone. I listen to sounds when I'm sleeping on YouTube.
Oh,
So that obviously counts, but I'm not actually looking at my phone. It's just on in the background because we like to listen to it. But
Mhm.
app by app, you know which apps you're on all the time. You know which apps you're on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, you can also just look at screen time on your phone. It's in the settings. And they'll break it down for you that way as well.
Yeah.
I just, I love Asian Kitty. I turned that shit off. I don't need my phone shaming me. I know, but it's good to know how often you are just picking up your phone and scrolling. And the reason why I'm bringing up adults is everyone needs guardrails. When
Mhm.
we are talking about technology like social media, and I'm not just going to single out Meta, YouTube, TikTok, things that like are time sucks. I think personally, in my position, the guardrails should be up for all of us.
Mhm.
I don't know anybody that's like, you know what I wish I did more of today? Hang out on social media. Nobody says that. So I get if you make your career, if you're an influencer, you sell stuff, you have to be on social media more often in that aspect. Okay. But if it's just the constant scroll, I feel like everyone needs guardrails because this whole personal responsibility doesn't work for humans. I'm sorry, maybe there are a ton of you out there that I know that are so, disciplined, and I envy you. But I would say most people, they get into these habits and it's hard to break.
Really hard to break.
So why not just build it in? Like even with AI, right? Like all of us know, and all of us use AI whether we like it or not. I'm sorry, we just do. Okay, you may use it in a targeted way. You may use it and you don't even realize you're using it. Okay, but it seems to be everywhere. I think people would not complain too much. I'm going to say too much just to kind of cover myself. Of more guardrails with AI. Like, please make it so I'm not using it in a stupid way versus, okay, you use it in this way or whatever. But humans need rules. It's like when you're raising children, they don't want the rules, but they thrive with them.
That's
And I
right.
think that that's what we need more of when we're talking about technology.
No, I completely agree with you. I also think parents need to be stronger and push back
But it's
because
hard to be strong when you're
I
also
know.
addicted.
Oh,
Like, how do you
totally.
say that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Don't be
you
on
know,
your phone anymore, child. And then you're like sitting there on your friggin' phone.
which is hilarious because that's what Tammy just said. I'm on my
Exactly.
iPad phone charging. She says, Tammy, as we're on our phones right now. But I would argue there's a difference
Yes. And I would
between
too.
between being involved in this conversation and talking to each other and watching a show or being involved in the show versus the social media scroll. That makes it
Yes.
different.
Yeah.
And I've had days, and this is a wake up call from me, as you're saying, adults need guardrails too, where like I at the end of the day, and I've been scrolling for a while, my
Mhm.
eyes are bleary, and I'm thinking to
Yes.
myself, why did I just do that? Like I've been looking at that screen for so long for no reason. What did I just get out of that? I got
Exactly.
nothing out of that. I
Nothing at
wasn't
all.
reading about, something political. I wasn't reading about somebody going through a struggle or had passed away. There was no new news from neighbors or friends. I was just scrolling for like no reason. It's addictive, and if it hits me, and I at the end of the day, I'm like, oh, what did I just do? Then what about our kids?
Exactly.
Yeah, you see why it's a problem.
But I want to play a little devil's advocate because I think
Uh,
that also
you have to.
there's this other side, which is, at what point do all of these guardrails kind of become what a lot of people call like a nanny state, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Like, okay, where do the guardrails stop? If I want to continue, should I be allowed to? If AI, for instance, recognizes that what it's asking you to do is dangerous, should it be able to stop you? Even if you're an adult? Like, at what point do we say, oh, it's for the children, but adults should do it too? And then all of a sudden, it's limiting our access to technology, which if I was a government, and maybe not a good one, I would probably want to do, right? I could limit what you see, how long you see
Yeah.
it, those sorts of things. Because while on one hand, social media and the internet in general has fundamentally changed the world, many would say in very bad ways, but I would also say in very good ways as well.
Yeah.
So it's that balance of the mindless scrolling that you were just talking about versus, hey, I got business to do. I got things I need to do. If I'm prepping for this show and I'm scrolling news stories, does my computer, does my social media company, does AI understand what I'm doing and my motivation? Or can it fully recognize, nah, you're just mindlessly scrolling. You need to get off.
Well, and then it becomes that, and I already mentioned that they serve you up all the things that they think will keep you on the
Right.
longest. So why don't they stop doing that if they know it's a problem?
Yeah.
Stop. Let me find the things that I need. Don't just serve up this stuff to us that will keep us on for the longest time and make us addicted to your product. Similarly, cigarettes did, like cigarettes when they knew it was addictive and they did nothing. They knew,
Yeah.
but
Exactly.
they pushed and pushed and pushed it anyway. And that's what
course.
social media companies do. So there is a sinister element to it.
Well, when you say sinister, there is this idea of, should technology guide you to either do whatever you want or be better or stop you from hurting yourself? Like, is that the role of technology? It's like, here's this technology, use it as it will. Let's just take technology, like that kind of technology out of it. A car, right? Used in the right way, it's amazing. You can travel long distances, X, Y, and Z. Used in the wrong way, it can literally kill people. So there is this idea of you can never escape personal responsibility and your role, human's role in its use. So whose responsibility is it more? I would say if I'm just developing a new technology, I want the brakes. I want the windshield wipers. I want the hazard lights on it, built in.
Yep.
Because if you allow me to drive this new piece of technology 200 miles per hour every single day, I'm going to crash. That's just a given. And so I think the same can be said for as quickly as new technology is being developed, especially with AI. we always seem to be playing catch up. And I think people are tired of that. It's like, stop giving me new technology that's absolutely amazing and is addictive without the necessary guardrails to make sure I'm not going to crash and burn.
No, I agree. Yeah. And teacher Lori talks about technology being valuable, especially when kids are in school. She said, I've seen 3rd through 8th graders teach themselves to do amazing things by watching tutorials on their own volition. Way before, she said, way before I started doing it. And then they started showing me how to do it. And then she started doing it. My daughter does that. If she doesn't understand something, the way a teacher explains something, she'll go and she'll find a different element. Or in AP US history, there were all kinds of videos that would teach her about a certain world event quickly. So it can be really good. Here on YouTube, there's a bunch of different videos and tutorials that you can find. But, I think you have to limit.
Yeah. And again, I think anything can be abused, right? We know that, from alcohol and cigarettes to technology. And so I think, to kind of put a pin in this, what the $18 billion is a good first step. I think it's going to be the implementation, the actual guardrails, and just similar to like what I'm going through at my school as we're trying to get kids off their phones and use yonder pouches. It's how you enforce those rules when you set them. Like, are they really going to be there? Are they going to be supported by parents? It's all encompassing. It has to be a group kind of thing, a village type thing, or it's just not going to work. If a parent is like, oh, Instagram, Facebook, they'll take care, they'll protect my kids from doing too much and do a hands-off approach, it's never going to work. And so we all kind of have to be part of it. And that's just the way it is.
Do you know where that 17 billion is going? Is it going
17 or 18? I keep saying 18. You keep saying 17.
I thought it was 17. I'm sorry.
But whatever. Okay. I don't know. Whatever.
Here
is
it
it going to go where?
Meta agreed Wednesday to pay up to 18. You're right.
Okay,
18 billion, and add stronger child safety measures to its Facebook and Instagram platforms.
Okay. So what was your question?
Where's the money going?
I'm assuming it's going to be going to developing the technology to guardrail the technology, or it's going to go to pay out those that were harmed, obviously.
Here it is. The settlement will be paid out over 10 years. California will get the largest sum at least 1.5 billion. Other states will collect hundreds of millions of dollars over the decade. So it's going to states. What the states will use it for, we don't know.
Yeah. Well, again, it is a wait and see. They're going to, like Kim mentioned, pay out over 10 years. Obviously, as someone was mentioning earlier, kids don't use Facebook. No, but they use Instagram, and that's Meta. And so it is Meta, not Facebook, that's doing this. And I do agree with Mark Zuckerberg. TikTok, YouTube, all of them, it should be built in. There should be safeguards. But I think it should go further. I don't think it should just be limited to 16-year-olds. I think they do that because you could sign up a kid account. But we do better with guardrails. People do better with guardrails. And so to that, my friend, let's raise a glass, because at least we're together doing this face-to-face through YouTube. So thanks, YouTube.
Don't you think, though, that Meta or Facebook or Instagram should say, you're however old you are, you're in your 40s, you're in your 50s. Do you feel like you want limits too? And you should be able to click a button that says, give me the limits. I need them.
Yeah.
I have bleary eyes at night, and I've spent way too much time here.
I don't want an endless scroll. Absolutely.
Right.
I don't want an endless scroll. I don't give a shit how many people like my comment. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need that in my life. I don't need the comparison. That's what I'm saying. It's like, what's good for the children, I think, would be good for us, because when it comes to social media, we're all kind of like children. We just scroll.
I want to click the yes button.
Scroll. Exactly. The dopamine hit works on us all. So I definitely do. And just like California, by the way, just like California was leading the states with this one, California, and in our California stop, is leading the way with our next story. And this one, again, the news is changing fast. So forgive me. I've been trying to stay up on the news. Nothing new has happened with the mail-in ballots since yesterday, correct? Because California is leading the way with the lawsuit over the USPS rule on mail-in ballots. So I don't know, more than 20 states, Democratic states, of course, are suing over this rule. This is the USPS rule. It requires state and local election officials to submit voter names, our names, and addresses to the USPS through a new portal that all of a sudden is going to be created, speaking of technology. And only voters whose information is submitted will be allowed to receive mail-in ballots, which will be sent in these brand new envelopes with special federal barcodes.
To a federal database.
To a federal, yeah. Okay. So let's just go through the timeline this week. And that's why I said it's been moving fast. So Monday, the Supreme Court says the state's original challenge to Trump's executive order was premature because nothing had happened yet. It hadn't been formally impacted. So then nothing happened. And then on Wednesday, a federal judge lifted a remaining block. And so the administration could proceed. And so they did. And so Democratic states are suing. You see how that works? So we're kind of at the part we feared, which was there's no stopping them from trying to enforce it. But now they're trying to enforce it, which means we have standing, which means now we can complain, right?
So I'm going to add a couple different things to that.
Okay.
All right. So yesterday, this rule, the Supreme Court rule, was published in the Federal Register. So it became official, and it led to a renewed effort for states to try to block it. Right. And so that's why Wednesday night, I think it was Wednesday night, California and other Democratic states, along with Washington, D.C., all got involved in yet another lawsuit to try to prevent this from happening. Did you already say that?
Yeah. So that's what, So
Apologies.
we're leading. Yeah. Okay. No. So we're just leading the state. We sued. The court said, you can't sue yet. Nothing's happened yet. And then something happened yesterday. And so we're like, okay, then we're suing. Okay. So so we're kind of in the same spot, but we're not, because now we have standing, which means basically we're being harmed because we think that this is unconstitutional, which in my opinion, I do believe it is. So while, and nothing's happened since then, right? I mean, I want you to Google right now, because basically over the next couple of days, maybe even tomorrow, the Supreme Court may rule on our lawsuit, the California, the Democratic states lawsuit. That's why I'm like, did I miss something? Because things have been happening very quickly. We've talked about the mail-in ballots ad nauseum. This whole idea of creating these new portals and sending our information to the federal government, who should have no say in state-run elections, is frightening. It is absolutely frightening. But that's going to bring me to the other topic I wanted to talk to, which is, why is it frightening? Because the people that handle elections in the state can also be batshit crazy, such as in Shasta County. Okay.
Oh my God.
Now in Shasta County, it is absolutely effing bonkers. They want to hire election denier Tina Peters. She has not been hired officially yet, but they want to hire this woman that's gone to prison, okay, for conspiracy over the 2020 election, okay, to be hired as an elections consultant in Shasta County, okay? This is insane. So
she's a criminal.
She's a convicted criminal, an election denier. Now, we want to bring someone that does not have her head in reality, because the reality is Donald Trump lost in 2020. That is it. That is it. Period. End of statement. They investigated it. They did everything. But in Shasta County, it is so freaking crazy, because the county, who was it? It was the county clerk who that locked up the ballots and threw away the friggin' key so that nobody can get into the room that has these ballots. It is nuts. So
Tina.
if we do, so Tina Curtis is the one. No, but yeah, Tina Curtis is the one that wants to be. Tina Peters is the one that wants to be hired, but the person that wanted to hire her, I'm sorry, I'm trying to find his name. He was the one that, Shasta County Clerk of Registrar of Voters, Clint Curtis. That's what I keep saying, Clerk Curtis. Clint Curtis basically took all of the ballots, said they didn't smell right, locked them in a room. I'm not even kidding. Locked them in a room, broke off the key, and said only the FBI can come in and get these ballots out. Why do we not want the federal government involved in our elections that are supposed to be state run? Because even at the statewide level, people are trying to undermine election results. There is absolutely zero reason why these ballots, one, should be held inside any sort of room, but two, that someone that's been arrested for election conspiracy should be even close to another election. It makes absolutely no sense. So, what is election integrity? What would make you believe that an election was secure? Is it having both sides watching this election, as in people that have their mind in reality and people that don't? Or is it just making other people believe that it's secure? Like, is Tina Peters' presence going to make MAGA people happy that the election is on the up and up? I think the only thing that makes people believe on that like extreme level that an election is secure is if their candidate wins. That's it. Not me.
That's the new
that
way.
Seems to be the new thing.
Either
For
my guy
MAGA,
wins, or
yes,
yeah, or it's a you cheated. It's like Mike Lindell and his
Yes.
recent election. It didn't go his way. He wants a recount. You didn't want the recount they offered, so he's now withholding the money. This is I feel like there's a healthy way to challenge an election.
yeah,
But
the normal way.
you give it, you do it, you go through the proper channels, and then you stop. And at some point, it becomes part of our American values to say, okay,
Yes.
I lost it, and I'm going to throw my support to Nikki, who won it, because I want the greater good for my community, for my state, for my country. And this is how voters decided to go with it. So I'm going to get behind it and root for her and do everything I can to help her succeed because I care about the world.
Yes,
Right?
exactly.
When did our values stop being that and start being
Trump.
me, what I want? And why aren't people smart enough to see that Trump only cares about his win, that
Yeah.
he laid the groundwork before elections even happened to start putting the earworm in the people's ears? Oh, cheating, rigging, right?
Yep.
Over and over again. He said it over and over again so that people that are maybe a little less bright would fall for it. And now we're seeing it being a pervasive thing in other elections, to the point that Tina Peters can be the biggest cheater and go to prison and crap on the voters who elected her
Yep.
to keep their election secure, because she was a clerk, an elections clerk, right?
Yes. Yes,
And
exactly. She was
she
an
turned
elections
around,
clerk.
she elections clerk, and voted in to make sure everything's on the up and up,
Mhm.
and can't be trusted, and is convicted. And then, of course, the biggest cheater of all is Trump pressuring the county in Colorado where she's convicted, let her free and wipe her slate clean, pardon her. These are a bunch of cheaters, and all the cheaters are standing up for each other.
Exactly. Now, Clint Curtis, he was the one that wants to hire Tina Peters. And again, I want to reiterate, she has not officially taken the job, but he said he wants to hire her, which again, just goes to show his mental state.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Clint Curtis administered and certified the June election, but now says those ballots, again, didn't look, didn't feel, and didn't smell right. If somebody looks at you and goes like this, nope, I just don't think that smells right. You put them in a padded room. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? He says anyone who wants access to those ballots needs a warrant and bolt cutters. That's, to me, not election security. Election integrity, election security means we have a set of rules. Everyone is going to follow by those rules. You may be disappointed in the results, but that's what other elections are for. That's how it works. Now, I know people are going to bring up, George W. and Al Gore. Maybe that was really the start of all this undermining of election integrity. But no, I still blame Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
His refusal for a peaceful transfer of power has done this country in when it comes to our elections.
Yeah.
And it's up to us to be like, you know what? I'm tired of it. These are the rules. We're all going to play by them. And that's it. And then trying to change the rules with these mail-in ballot rules when in a week or two, ballots are going to be sent out. Like, if the Supreme Court rules, by the way, with today, tomorrow, whatever, that this rule can go forward for the midterms,
Chaos.
chaos. It's going to be absolute effing. This is what I don't understand about people. One, suggesting these rules, but I know their motivation. But to the court, it's like, you can't say you're trying to protect elections when doing something this late in the game obviously would undermine the integrity of the elections. There's not enough time. There's not enough. We need to be able to not only create the system, but how about test it out? Make sure the ballots work. Make sure the machines work. I mean, is our election not important enough to make sure it's right? Or do they want to rush it because they're counting on the mistakes? They're counting on the mistakes because in case they lose, which, spoiler alert, it's not looking good.
They're losing.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they're trying to stack the decks. They're trying to make sure their deck of cards has all the winning pieces or winning faces on it.
But if they don't win, they'll just point to it and be like, oh, look, there was nefarious things happening with this new system that they wanted.
Well, they know they can't win on the issues. And they know they can't win on affordability. They know Americans are mad. They're looking at the approval ratings and they're thinking we're cooked.
Yeah.
Even Trump came out and said, oh, if the Democrats are elected, I'll be impeached. They know.
Yeah.
They know the midterms are important. So they've tried everything they can do to keep people from voting, because we know that if the more people to vote, the more likely it's going to be a Democratic win, right? Regarding Mr. Clint Curtis, who is the county clerk and the registrar of voters for Shasta County. I just found this story. They say that the Shasta County Board of Supervisors voted to censure him following 2 investigations into allegations of managerial misconduct.
Good.
He said he was surprised by the outcome. He expected it to be a tie. He didn't expect to be censured. He said every word of it is untrue. I got an office full of people and an office full of witnesses. He's accused of harming people, threatening to pull hair, threatening to punch people, threatening to kill people. He said that's never happened. But listen, is it any surprise that someone who is censured by their board of supervisors and accused of wrongdoing when it comes to the elections that he's been charged to protect would be hanging out and commiserating with someone like Tina Peters? No. The criminals hang out together, right?
Exactly. Yeah. It's but also these are the people that are in charge of our elections. I'm going to compare this to when politicians who are in government currently look at the American people and say, how can you trust the government? I'm like, that's you, MFer. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So the people that are hired to run our elections are saying the system can't be trusted. That's you, MFer. Like, they're always projecting. It's like, don't trust me.
Right.
The system is rigged. It's like,
right.
We know. We
didn't have these problems until Trump and his band of merry criminals came in to mess with elections. Tina Peters says she's giving consideration to the offer from Shasta County because, quote, there's most definitely been monkey business in the way elections were handled. Who is the chief architect of monkey business?
It's you, like, it's them. They're saying, so we did monkey business. You shouldn't trust us, but we'd like to do it again. Like, no. How about no? It's crazy.
She's not sorry. She's not remorseful for anything she did. She says she'd do it all over again. They've drank so much of the Kool-Aid that they don't even know what they did. Like, they know it's wrong, but they still want to do it. They have justified it in some way. It's like January 6ers, right? They went to prison. I'm so sorry. I know what I did was wrong. And then they come out and some of them are like, oh, no, screw that. Donald Trump's going to pardon me. So I was right all along. It's like, no, you're in a cult and you need to stop. Like, is this voters knowingly opening the door and letting the thief into their house and showing them right where the silver is? No, I mean, when are we going to smarten up? This is, can you feel my incredulity? Like, this is crazy.
It is. And again, I'm going to say it for the third time. She has not yet accepted the job. But if she does, what's going to stop her? You know what I mean? Like, absolutely nothing is going to stop her. So if we let somebody who already went to prison for doing bad crap during an election do it again, why not? Why wouldn't she do it again? She got hired. She's let back in. You know what I mean? Like, you've let her back in to the hen house, and she's not going to act like a wolf. Give me a break.
It's the craziest thing. The world is upside down. We live in bizarro world. Who has
Yeah.
common sense? Raise your hand.
I do.
Share it with your friends because they need help.
Exactly. No problem, Phineas. I will drink, and I'll drink more. Again, we're gonna watch it. By this time next week, I'm positive we'll have a decision by the Supreme Court. I mean, they are moving extremely quickly because the midterms are around the corner. So yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I'm hoping and praying that the Supreme Court, I'm even going to give in a little bit. Okay. I don't like the whole ballot thing. I don't like the feds being part of it.
Nope.
But my prayer right now is that they won't allow it to be implemented for the midterms.
Well, if David Katz, who I adore and revere and respect, is any indicator, he says this is all too close to when they have to send out ballots for the midterms, and that it will not take effect in this upcoming election.
I love David Katz as well. I despise experts telling me things I pin my hopes on, and then this stupid Supreme Court going the other way. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
it started with our friend John Rothman telling me that there was no way Donald Trump was going to win in 2016, and he broke my effing heart. And I will never let John Rothman live it down ever. He always is like, and I was like, you sat next to me all night long telling me it could never happen, and it can happen. So forgive me, David Katz, if I don't have any faith whatsoever in common sense from this Supreme Court or from this generation's government at all. Exactly. I mean, that's an understatement. PTSD. Absolutely.
And Mindy says, yeah, you know what? It's a corrupt Supreme Court. You got to be ready for disappointment.
Yeah, exactly. You got to be ready. All right, let's take a stiff drink. Thank you for that. Let's move on to our next segment. Which is something I said, Kim.
Oh,
what happened?
Nothing. Something you said? I just said,
sorry. I was like, yeah, something I literally said seriously when I heard this story. Because when you think of rich people, you think they could buy anything they want for whatever price they want. So why would they do blank? And as a 49er fan, when I read that the owner of my favorite team paid $140 for a prostitute, I literally said, seriously, like, why would you do that? So if you haven't seen, I'm going to show it to you right now. The body cam footage of Jed York at this trailer park. A trailer park. Like, it reminds me of, if anybody remembers Hugh Grant. Back in the day, I'm aging myself here for y'all younger.
No.
Hugh Grant was married, right? He was married to what's her face? Give me the name. Elizabeth Hurley.
Yeah.
So good. He was a literal model.
Dating her. Yeah.
Or dating her. He was with Elizabeth. I'm talking about Hugh Grant. Elizabeth Hurley at her prime. Okay, they both were. And he goes and walks the streets for a prostitute. That's the same as Jed York. Okay, so Jed York, if you've been under a rock, got busted for spending $140 trying to hire, who had been communicating multiple times with a prostitute. Here's the body cam. Yeah, here's the body cam footage. Thanks to the New York Post for this. So let's watch a little bit of it, shall we? Here we go.
Don't move. Don't do anything.
Oh my God.
Unbuckle slowly. Slowly.
Do it.
And he's wearing a Yankees shirt. Like
Step out
what?
of the car.
You're Giants, man. Come on, you're
Put
from
your
the
hands on the
Bay.
car.
Can you ask what you're doing?
Spread your feet for me.
That's what you're doing.
Can I ask what you're doing?
What are you doing here?
Just driving.
Yeah, right.
You meeting anybody?
No.
Sure.
Oh man.
Oh man.
I wonder what's going through his head right now.
I am so dead. That's what's
This
going
is
through his head.
bad. This is really
You're
bad.
and you're wearing a Yankee shirt. Like, come on. The Giants should be so mad.
Careful. Don't move around. Hold on 1 second. All right.
Okay.
You got anything on you I should know about?
$140.
Spread your feet again.
I mean, you know the guy knew who he
Is this a rental
was.
car?
Yeah.
It's a rental car because, God forbid you're.
What are you doing in town?
Let's hear.
You from here?
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I live in Jordan.
Okay. You're just driving around East Palestine?
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta be in this wrong. You got it?
So basically, he gets busted. I mean, it's. Let's see if we can get a little bit more from him.
Crazy despite doing a
Was there a hooker in the car?
Sweet.
Just
No,
there's
no.
Yeah, that was super easy despite doing a circle here.
So no, yeah. I mean, there is a specific. Are you asking if there is a specific hooker? Yes, he was communicating. He was communicating with somebody. Now, and I'm just going to throw this out there just so we can get it out of the way. He was going through a divorce. I know people love to bring that up as if that matters, but whatever. So yeah, he was communicating with a prostitute, which again, it makes you wonder. So I guess this was a prostitution sting that was at this trailer park. A lot of people are taking issue with like, why are cops wasting their time kind of following this particular trailer park? So they're thinking that there's something else going on, maybe drugs, whatever.
human trafficking. I mean, there could be kids there.
A number of things.
We don't know.
Exactly. A number of things. I'm just throwing some shade on Jed York to ask a bigger question here, though. Okay. This is my bigger question. In the age of OnlyFans, why do we care? Okay. So, what is the actual difference between paying a sex worker for sex or two consenting adults creating sex together on OnlyFans and getting paid for it, or a single person on OnlyFans communicating with somebody online and getting paid to do a sex act?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a difference, and should there be?
That's a really interesting question. I feel like, the only difference is the in-person touchy part of the whole scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's really the only difference, whether you're paying for some sexual experience online or you're paying for some sexual experience in person. And I personally don't care. Like, as long as the sex worker involved is someone who wants to be doing what they're doing, they're not coerced, they're not being trafficked, they're not being forced. Well, I don't know how you prove that or how you ensure that. But like, I don't care if a guy wants to go pay a lady and do what they're doing. As long as it's not my husband, I'm okay with whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't affect me or affect the world. But I think the problem is that there are so many of these prostitution rings that are not what I describe, that are women being forced or beaten or kept, not allowed to leave. So they're like, sex prisoners type of thing, or sex slaves, or whatever you want to call it. And so maybe that was the problem here, and that's what they're trying to stamp out. I don't know.
But I mean, if like sex trafficking, coercion, forcing people to do that is the concern, like you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, then it seems like the law should just focus on that, rather than you can't have consensual sex and be paid for it. Like,
historically, that's not been why we have rules against or laws against prostitution, right? We want to be a moral, upstanding society. That was why originally, we didn't want prostitution. But as they call it, the world's oldest profession, right? This has been going on forever. So I guess, to your point, if many people are doing that online anyway, then why are the morality police out there in person, right?
Because you can't believe that everybody on OnlyFans is doing it of their own free will. I mean, that I would hope that, but you don't think that there's somebody forcing somebody else to make OnlyFans videos and taking a cut? I'm sure. I'm sure that's happening, right? I mean, so why is there some sort of legal distinction? And again, it goes state by state. I actually did a little bit of research on it. It really does go by state, but basically you can produce pornography. Now where you share it and put it matters, but you can do OnlyFans and that's legal. But the minute your OnlyFans customer meets you face to face and you exchange cash, all of a sudden it's illegal. And And now I'm not defending either, right? Like, I'm kind of like, yeah, it's kind of a keep your eyes on the own paper, but I do know how bad it can be pipeline, especially for children, underage girls, foster care kids, all of those sorts of things. Like it is a devastating pipeline. So it's not like I'm justifying that. But what I am saying is I'm trying to, like, kind of our theme with technology. We create this technology. We created this platform that everyone's just, whether it's Feet Finder or OnlyFans, everyone's like, oh, I'll make a couple bucks. People, there is a TV show. Oh my God, what is it called?
What's Heat Finder? I've never heard of that one.
Feet
Finder. Oh, okay.
Feet, you know.
I don't know what that is.
Toes and pudding.
It's Feet Finder. Feet. Yes, feet. God, there's a website called Feet Finder?
My friend.
Have you been on there?
You. It is the well-known. I wish that I had the balls. Honestly, like,
I would log into it to bring it up on the screen, but I'm afraid that it's going to be served up to me.
I wish I did. You guys remember, those that have been with us since the beginning, I made a joke and I got some emails. I made a joke about putting my feet in pudding and making some money during the show. And I got some emails. And let me tell you, I was hemming and hawing about it.
Oh my God, there's a real website.
It's well known, Kim McCallister. I teach you these things because I know these things.
Sell feet pics, buy feet pics, stay anonymous. Wow.
I love introducing things to my friend. It is so funny. But anyways, there are platforms where you can sell your body, whether it's just your feet or everything else, for money. And we're okay with that. Like people make there. It's a new show on Hulu. I'm going to look it up on my phone. It's about these housewives. It's a real reality show. Normal looking housewives. I'm not talking, I mean, they're attractive, some of them. I mean, but normal looking women who need to make money. Like they've fallen on, and they are on OnlyFans, and they've created kind of a mom group, like Mom Talk, but they do OnlyFans together, and they do these racy videos, and they do all of these things, and they $4,000 for one video. Wow. If you're desperate for money and all you have to do is prop up a camera, show your feet or show more, and you can make hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, people are like, go for it. But I love you, Louise. Thank you so much for the $5 donation. Here's a contribution, Nikki, but no need to remove your shoes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now I will say this, Rev, my husband jokes. He's like, whenever we're talking about like wanting to go on a trip or we need money for something, he's like, take off them shoes. I made the joke, but when the rubber met the road,
yeah,
I couldn't do it. And it's not that I think I'm a celebrity, but I don't know why, but I'd be, and again, I'm not yuck and yum here, but if my kids knew that I was doing that, for some reason, I would feel embarrassed and ashamed or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Heather.
Oh my God, I love you. I love you, Heather. Agent Kitty says, I used to do shoe play videos 20 years ago. Oh my God.
$50 an hour for 2 hours every Sunday. My gas money for the week. She said I was filmed from the knees down and I had a pseudonym, so it was fine.
That's what I'm saying. This is a good question. What about hands? Like, I didn't think feet was a big deal. I don't have a foot thing, but it and we'd mentioned this when we talked about it before. I don't know these people, right? Like, you want to look at my hands and pay me $50 for every 2 hours of work? Fine. Here's my hands. You know what I mean? Like, but then when you get an email like I did, and they're like, I will pay you for your socks that you've worn.
Ew,
You're kind of like, do I really want to? Do I want to open that door? You know what I mean? And part of me was like, should I? And I will tell you, my husband did not have a problem with it. I didn't do it though. And I think maybe he also knew that I wouldn't do it, but he didn't. He was like, did you send them? And I was like, no. And he's like, why? And I was like, I'm not doing that.
Multiple comments about how you now work at a school, so you can't do that. It's now a taboo for you.
Oh, I couldn't do it anyway. Again, no. I couldn't. I was tested and I couldn't. Like, you think you can do certain things. You're like, yeah. Sick of my feet in puddings for a show, and to the highest bidder those feet pics go. But then when there's someone like, I'll buy them, you're like, no, these are my feet pics. Like, only my husband sees my feet in pudding.
Oh my God.
Not that I've ever done that.
Someone just commented that they have bunions, and Heather said, no, there's somebody for every foot.
Exactly.
Don't even worry about it. It's so weird.
It doesn't matter. Like, there is there is someone that will love everyone's kink. That's all. And so again, to bring it back to Jed York, who again, going through a divorce, so he's not married, so we can't bring that in. I don't know why somebody rich would want to do it, but if he wants to, and the woman is consenting and she's not being abused and she's not being coerced, and let's just take that out of it, because I really do not believe every case. I think a lot do, but I can't believe that I think some women just want to have sex for money. Like that's it, right? If that's the case, I don't think it should be illegal. And I don't think it's fair for society to judge Jed York for shit that we've said already over and over with Feet Finder and OnlyFans is okay, but it's just online. Like, I just think it's hypocritical. You're not really offended by it because we allow it in so many different ways.
Well, I will say there's a public shaming that happens if people are caught. We saw it with, I forget, the man who was running for governor. Remember, and he was an African-American man, and he was caught saying all kinds of horrible racist things on a sexy site or whatever. Then we saw it with Jed York. Then we saw it with the husband of the former Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem's husband. Yep. So these people, if they're caught doing these online sex things, there's a public shaming that happens, which I think is almost worse than getting caught by the police. Because your reputation is ruined. Oh,
yeah. I mean, and people will not stop. I was listening to the news after the news broke about Jed York, and they were interviewing Fred Warner, who's from the 49ers. They're like, well, we've heard the news, but it's not like we're talking about it in the locker room. My ass. You guys are talking about it so effing. Because you can't not be like, oh my God. Because one, it is, oh, how the rich have fallen. We love to just do that whole sort of thing. But two, it's why? Why would someone that arguably can pay that doesn't have to pay, just go into a room and say, I'm Jed York, I'm rich, I own the 49ers, get laid. Like, why are you? But I also feel on the flip side, that's why Jed York perhaps might want to go to a trailer park and find someone that's outside of his circle, because he doesn't want that sparkly hooker. He wants the one that he doesn't see all the time. I don't know. I'm not the man's mind, but I could see why it's like, but that's not getting me off. Like, I want something I don't see. I don't want something easy. Well, I mean, it's easy either way, but I don't want something I see all the time. So yeah, exactly. SJ Lola, you like to see the people fall. People like to watch people fail. And it says more about us than them probably. But Jed York, I raised my glass to you, because I'm sure you're drinking a lot. I don't respect it, because I don't think that he should have to pay for it or should pay for it. But I will also say this: if you want to, and it wasn't illegal, I won't yuck your yum. But
Louise says, I would pay $125 to opt out of sex at a trailer park. Park. Yeah.
Sometimes people that's it. They just want it. You know what I mean? They want something. They want something a little dirty. They want something a little different. They want something that's not easily offered up on a platter to them. And I'm sure that Jed York has the world offered up on a platter to him. And so he's like, I think I'll slum it a little bit.
How much do you feel like he's hit rock bottom in his life when he's caught at a trailer park trying to hire a hooker? Like, really?
In a Yankees shirt.
That's almost more offensive to you.
Well, it's just so funny. It's like, I don't know, man. You own a Bay Area team. Could you not be sporting a Bay Area shirt? But, I'm sure the Giants are happy to not be in that image. So that's fine. But yeah, he didn't show up for like the NFL owners meeting or whatever. I'm like, I bet the hell he didn't. That's not unusual, but I wouldn't be showing my face. The hypocrisy, I guess I'm going to end it on this. Our hypocrisy as the public who loves the Schadenfreude or whatever, and loves to watch rich people fall. The hypocrisy is thick because we're actually okay with it. We don't actually hate it. We're fine with OnlyFans. It's become so normalized. I mean, we might not agree with it. We might not condone it. We might not want our children to do it. But let's stop clutching our effing pearls. Like, this is like so unheard of. Sex is everywhere. And the way people are getting off is changing. Technology is being incorporated. And yeah, I'm not buying. I'm just not buying that everyone is so, oh my God, Jed York. It's fine. It's fine. Like, whatever. It's embarrassing for you. The news will cycle, Jed. Don't worry about it.
Sal says the process is part of the thrill. Like a heroin addict.
That's a good point.
Opening the bag, putting in the spoon, doing blah, blah, blah. He said it's even drinking coffee. It's all part of the process. Yeah.
Although, again, it's embarrassing. It's, I do believe that if he wasn't caught, I'm sure he would have been really, really happy to not be caught. But at the same time, you know what? Do you, Jed? You know what I mean? You're going through a divorce. You're hitting hard times. So to you, we raise our glass. Don't get caught again and try not to do it. Yeah, he should have bought a temp pride like crazy Elon does. Maybe he should have done that. But don't buy women. That's just not good. All right, let's do, my friends. That's my sip for you guys. Let's do last call. Some sad news. A lot of sad news lately, Kim. We've lost a lot of people. I think the biggest one, I was actually homesick on Tuesday. I had like a stomach bug. I think I ate something bad. And then I started to feel even worse because I heard that Dolly Parton had died. Yeah. And then I heard that Tim Curry had died. And then, of course, this is on the heels of Hayden Panettiere passing away last week. And while I don't think that Hayden Panettiere is at the level of Dolly or Tim Curry to some people, I do think that she's been an actor for a very long time. She was in a lot of the movies that many people grew up watching. And she was a very well-known celebrity. So here's my question to you guys as we talk a little bit about this. Whose celebrity's death hit you harder than you thought or that you expected? I was really not moved, but emotional about Dolly Parton.
Yep.
And what was interesting is I saw this one and I want to read it to you because I think that it's absolutely so true. I want to read this statement that somebody had made about the passing of Dolly Parton. And hold on, that was Tim Curry, but this is Dolly Parton's. And somebody said, imagine spending 80 years on the planet, writing over 3,000 songs, winning 11 Grammy Awards, 10 Country Music Awards, 1 Emmy, countless nominations, having 55 top 10 hits. And at the end of your life, no one talks about it. Instead, they talk about the kind of person you were, how you loved others well, how you stayed true to yourself, how you were generous and would champion others, and how you inspired others to do the same. If that's not the goal, I don't know what is. R.I.P. Dolly. I swear I'm getting emotional just talking about it. Like, if that's the way you want to be remembered. You know what I mean? And Dolly Parton was that. Like, Jelly Roll. I don't know if you guys know that. I was filling in with for Jimmy Kimmel this week. And he ended it by saying, I think Dolly Parton is the last human that everybody liked. Yep. In this day and age where like everyone chooses sides, who hates Dolly Parton? You know what I mean? Like nobody hates Dolly Parton. And there are other people, like why would you hate that person? But Dolly Parton, for as well known and how many generations she's spanned. I mean, watching the old videos, her and Kenny Rogers duets. And, it's just as a kid, because I grew up, I was a 70s, 80s kid, right? You remember where you were. You remember being a kid and singing the songs. And I don't know, Dolly Parton passing away really effing sucks because of the message that she gave everybody.
You know how I feel about Dolly. She's just a life well lived, an amazing person who did I think, always seemed to be knowing exactly the right thing to do with her money to best help humanity. Yes. She's just the most amazing, giving, selfless person. And she was talking about whether or not she should get involved in politics. She's constantly asked, like, what do you think of Trump? Or what do you think of this? And she said, I don't like to get involved in politics. I saw her in one interview say, listen, I learned a long time ago that I don't want to be in politics. I'm a performer. She said, half the people that love me are Democrats, the other half are Republicans, and I don't want to offend anybody. I'm just here to make people feel good.
Right.
She said, yeah, here's the quote. She told USA Today in 2020, I have as many Republican fans as I do Democrats. I don't want to offend anybody. I have a right to myself. She said, like, God gave us a free will. America gave us free speech, but you've got to be responsible for anything you say and do. She said, she has opinions, of course, like everybody else, but she just knows when to keep her mouth shut.
But at the same time, it's what she said that let people know where she stands. Huge supporter.
It's what she did and said.
Yes,
I think
what
both.
she said. Yeah. So like, saying that she supported the LGBTQ community by saying, I think people should just be who they are. Like she didn't have to say, I stand on this side or I stand on that side. She was just like, I think we should just love everybody. Like, if you should just be able to be who you are, love who you are. That says volumes when people are so trying to pigeonhole you into a stance. And she wouldn't fall for it. She was so smart. And, obviously everyone knows her story. She was extremely poor. And obviously she became extremely rich, but she didn't end as a billionaire because she gave so much money away. And another quote that I heard, and I apologize because I forget who said it. It's never a bad idea when women are rich. And I would say that that's a huge generality, of course, because I'm sure someone will be like, that woman didn't do good stuff with her money. But, look at Mackenzie Scott, Bezos' ex-wife. Look at Dolly Parton. Look at Taylor Swift. Now, these people are still rich, and Taylor Swift's a billionaire, so not the same thing. But so is Mackenzie Scott. But they give their money away to causes that do good. You know what I mean? And I just feel, and I'm not trying to be sexist or, choose genders here or whatever, but I fully believe that there is something innate in women to be caregivers. And so when you have an exorbitant amount of money at your fingertips and you have a good heart, that's what you want to do. Like, what can I do for others? Whether with Dolly, it's her books, or with Mackenzie Scott and supporting all of these different charities, just giving them money to do what they want to do with that money. It's inspiring. Lord, give me billions so that I can follow in their footsteps. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's really great. I watched Steel Magnolias. While I was sick in bed because it's one of my favorite Dolly Partons. I love 9 to 5. I still want to watch that one too, but I loved Steel Magnolias. She wasn't the star in that movie like she was 9 to 5, but I loved her role in it, and I love crying in movies, so that's always great. Talking about some people whose deaths hit them hard, Prince, David Bowie. I remember where I was when both of those people died.
For me, it was Robin Williams.
Oh, that's another. I know. I was at work when we found out that Robin Williams died. Princess Diana. Jerry Garcia, I was in high school, but I remember exactly where I was when he died. Tom Petty was a rough one, absolutely. Karen Carpenter, I wasn't alive for her death, I don't believe yet, because she died before I was born, I believe. But I knew the story very, very well. And I told this story, a death that I know why it hit me hard, but I was surprised by how emotional and like physically crying and mourning the death was Luke Perry, who was my crush growing up. And I loved watching him as an aging actor, get older actor. And when I was driving to KGO, when I found out that he died, bawling in my car, just so overwhelmed. Olivia Newton-John. Yeah. Oh God. Watching John Travolta in the in memoriam for her. Oh, that made me. Kurt Cobain. I know exactly where I was when Kurt Cobain died. Absolutely. It's just hard. You know what I mean? Like, not only because they were whatever person they were to you and the memory you have, but the part of your history that they stood for. You know what I mean? Like, it just was. And then, of course, Tim Curry, who a lot of people know. It's funny. Okay, so when I say the name Tim Curry to you, which movie do you think of instantly?
Well, now I know. I didn't know who he was. I had to see his face before I knew the name. I didn't know.
Oh,
But I'm not
shame.
I know. Yeah.
Okay, so a movie didn't immediately pop into your head, is what you're telling me. Okay,
Mm-mm.
so for me, it's actually 3 movies. I was a Tim Curry fan, and which I'm surprised that you don't know, because you do know him. Once you saw his face, you knew who he was, right?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, for me, first was Rocky Horror, and then my second was It. Okay, and then my third was Clue. So those 3 movies I grew up watching. I mean, literally, I do not know each of those. I mean, Rocky Horror, probably I've watched the least, but I've seen it at midnight in the movie theater, those sorts of things. Like, I've participated in it. Clue, I loved Clue growing up. That movie, I had the game. I absolutely loved it. And then I am sorry, Tim Curry was in my nightmares as the clown in It. Like, in my nightmares. While I love the remake of it, and I think that I'm forgetting the guy's name that did a great job with the eye, like, he does a great job in it. Oh my God, Tim Curry as It scared the living bejesus out of me. But yeah, there was another quote about Tim Curry. So, have you seen Rocky Horror, Kim? Have you ever seen the movie? You've never seen it? Okay. Well, do you know of it?
I know of it.
Okay. So Tim Curry, this was the post about Tim Curry, died at 80. In 1975, long before it was remotely safe, he put on a corset, the fishnets, and the pearls, and played Dr. Frank N. Furter with zero apology and total joy, which, by the way, is not how that role was written. He made it that role. Okay.
Really?
Rocky Horror became the longest running theatrical release in history, and its midnight screenings became a sanctuary for every queer kid and misfit who needed somewhere to belong. He didn't just play a part. He held a door open for 50 years. We'll see you at the late night double feature picture show. If you've never, and I'm assuming with our company in this show, I don't know, who's never seen Rocky Horror besides Kim? Anybody? And I'm not trying to call you out, but
it's okay. It's okay. It just wasn't
again,
my
it's
jam.
been around for so long, and it's so much fun. If you ever have the chance to go to a midnight showing and watch it, one, you don't have to. You could be a virgin, because they do stuff to virgin. That's what they call you, people that have never gone to the movie before, because there's things that you yell and scream and throw in the movie theater during the movie. It's so interactive. It's such an experience. They still show it. Like, just Google it. I know they show it here in San Jose. It's so much fun, and it's such an experience. And Tim Curry is amazing, like, absolutely amazing. Susan Sarandon's in it. I'm blanking on his name, the husband. But anyways, it's such a great movie. But again, iconic for so many reasons, just like Dolly Parton. And Tim Curry he was in Home Alone. I think Home Alone 2. He's done voice acting since he had a stroke. He didn't stop working. Oh, Sal, are you telling me that's the first movie that popped into your head? My butt. There is no freaking way. Hunt for Red October with Alec Baldwin and Sean Connery. Is that the movie that you're talking about? That Tim Curry, that's the first movie that you're bringing to mind on the passing of Tim Curry. I call bollocks on that. Sorry. But maybe. Okay, fine. Barry Bostwick. You guys are stumping me on that one. Barry Bostwick.
Bostwick? Isn't that a TV producer?
Oh, is that somebody oh, yes. He did pass. Oh, that's who. That was who was in Rocky Horror Picture Show. He was Susan Sarandon's husband. Yes, thank you. I don't know. It's just, yeah, he was Brad. It's such a fun movie. Kim, you should watch it. My husband, we watched it last night in honor of Tim Curry. Okay. Yeah, it's on television. You could watch it, but it's not as good as watching it in the movie theater. I'm just telling you, you should absolutely go and see it.
You know what I want to watch? Someone posted this review of an old Dolly Parton movie called Straight Talk, where she plays a radio talk show host, and I've never seen that, so I'd like to see it. But here's Dolly talking about politics.
I do not get into that. Of course, I have my opinion about everybody and everything, but I learned a long time ago: keep your damn mouth shut if you want to stay in show business. I'm not in politics. I'm an entertainer.
And yet, you're also a role model.
Yes, I am.
Fair warning. Might still ask.
Well, you can ask, but I might still tell you where to put it if I don't like where you got it.
We have a president of the United States who said those things on that bus.
I'm not addressing that. I do not get into that. Of course, I have my opinion about everybody and everything, but I learned a long time ago.
Yeah, same thing. So what's interesting to me, and I don't know if it's a generational thing or not,
Right.
but she is, a music star and kind of in the background, a philanthropist and someone who never forgot where she came from. Put Dollywood near her hometown, made sure people had jobs, made sure kids could read, put the money toward the Lahaina wildfires, put the money toward the COVID vaccine, kind of under the radar. I mean, publicly, but really kind of taking a backseat to her music. Yep. She's doing all this good in the world. Mm-hmm. Same thing, massive talent, songwriter. When you look at the number of songs and the amount of work someone has done in their life, Taylor Swift definitely on track to be kind of like Dolly Parton in the songwriting talent category, and in the doing good things with your money category. On her tour, making sure her people were well paid, giving them massive bonuses. She just gave $2 million to Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. Yep. Every time that someone has a catastrophe or a natural disaster, there's Taylor Swift with another $1 million. Mm-hmm. But the difference is Taylor Swift has been very vocal in her criticism of Donald Trump. And I was thinking about this last night. Is this a generational thing where in the old days, you don't talk religion or politics, or you don't talk about things at the dinner table that are going to upset people? And maybe that's kind of the polite sheen of life that Dolly Parton came up under. Whereas in Taylor Swift's era or generation, young women are encouraged to talk about politics and give their opinion and get involved and be who they are and stand up for the little guy and all of these things. Because I think maybe it's a generational thing.
I mean, obviously we've had people within our generations that have talked about, the 50s, the 60s, whatever. I think, and again, I'm not going to talk for Dolly Parton because I don't know her motivation, of course. Mm-hmm. But I think that with Taylor Swift, All Americana or whatever, that kind of documentary that Taylor Swift did, she didn't talk. And then all of a sudden she felt bad about it because of the elections and what was happening and all those sorts of things. So is it a generational thing, or is it that in Dolly's generation, other people, and again, I don't know if Dolly ever spoke on these things, but they fought that fight and maybe thought it was done, that naive feeling that, that fight has been fought and we won that. And now all of a sudden our generation and our younger generations are being like, nope, that fight's still going on. They're still trying to take that from us. And so that's why people like Taylor Swift are talking again, because they've realized like, oh no, I can't stay silent. I can't just stand on the shoulders of the women that came before me because the fight is not over. And so maybe that's it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Maybe that's it. And maybe Dolly just wants to fight in the way that she feels comfortable, which is her right. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if you have billions, millions of dollars, you do have the freedom to express your opinion in the way that you feel will reach the most people. And maybe Dolly realized by alienating people, because she comes from the South, she comes from Tennessee, she doesn't want to close the door on that conversation. By staying as neutral as possible, maybe she can bring people over to the side she actually stands on, but doesn't need to speak so clearly about. You know what I mean? Like she's a supporter of LGBTQ people, but she doesn't need to stand there with a rainbow flag because people just know it. You know what I mean? Like, of course I know it. I want to play you this because this was something that she had said to a woman, to a student. I think this was like a student somewhere, asking her a very, oh, darn it. Hold on. I got to share it again because I hit the wrong button. Now, it was an interesting question given a recent news story that I'm also going to mention. So this is Dolly Parton, excuse me, being asked this question. It's going to be, so just listen to it because obviously it's a small video.
Do I ever wish I was born a guy? Lord, no, I've always been a sissy. And if I'd have been born a man, I'd have been a drag queen.
Mm-hmm. So the reason I brought that up was, one, she was a supporter of the LGBTQ community, but a judge just struck down this week a 2023 state law in Texas that restricted drag shows. And he brought up Dolly. He brought up Dolly Parton. And he said, basically, don't go. That's what he basically said. He said that the bill improperly restricted free speech, violated the First Amendment. And it was a ruling that prevents the state attorney general, Ken Paxton, who's an a-hole, who's running for Senate, from enforcing the law. And basically, he said, Hittner, the judge, mentioned Dolly Parton and criticized the law's definition of banning performances that appeal to the prurient interest, citing people who would chastise Parton as a voluptuous sex symbol because of her big hair, flamboyant clothes, and breast exposure. He wrote, there are erotic elements in countless popular performances that could be subject to both civil and criminal penalties under that bill that he struck down in Texas, which is true. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
how many jokes did you know, at least growing up, how many Dolly Parton jokes did you know? I mean,
Of
so
course,
many.
yeah.
I mean, just because of her breasts. But the great thing about Dolly was she was in on it. She knew
Yeah,
exactly.
she make fun of herself before anyone
yeah.
else could make fun of her.
Exactly, which is so
It's
smart.
amazing. Yeah, and I love how it's true. I don't know if you saw, if you've gone down the Dolly rabbit hole and watching old videos, but I saw a couple times this interview that Barbara Walters did,
Yes.
where she says, you know, would I, in her, you know, posh New England thing, would I have thought you were a hillbilly? And Dolly Parton's like, yeah, and I probably would have kicked you in the shins.
Exactly.
But you wouldn't have been wrong, but I would have kicked you in the shins. And then Barbara Walters, totally different time and era, because it's so rude and so out of place, asks her, you know, you don't have to look like this. You don't have to have the big hair and the big boobs. You don't have to do this. You know, you're a beautiful woman without all this. And Dolly Parton says, I know, but I choose to, and here's why. I love how she stood up to people that asked her the most insulting, invasive questions that were just so rude, and how either she managed to give it back, but she always manages to do it with a laugh and make you feel good about it at the end.
Like, they don't feel bad about asking me the rudest question in the world, but because she was confident in herself. Like, she knows, she's not oblivious to the fact that people are making jokes about, she has huge breasts, she wears a lot of makeup, she has teased hair, but she likes that. That's her persona. Yvonne says, I do admire people that speak up because they're putting their reputation on the line, but they know what they stand for and they take all the bullets.
I think Dolly Parton came up in this era, and she came from poverty.
Yes.
And so it was really important to her to be a success. She talks about it. She said, when I got a one-way ticket to Nashville, I told my mom I wasn't coming home unless I was success. The next time you see me, I'm going to be a star. She had this drive to do it because of where she came from. And then she took care of her entire family, then her entire community, then her state, right? So I feel like because she came up in this era where she saw people like Jane Fonda, whether you agree with what Jane Fonda did in the Vietnam War or not, she saw Jane Fonda stand up, make a point, and then be basically for a time excised from society. She saw what could happen to people that stood up and were strong on political issues. And then she thought, I got to make this money. I got to be a success. If my job is to be an entertainer, then I better be quiet about it. But again, I think that's a whole different
Do you
time.
think that that's why she did it? That she wanted to be quiet because she didn't want to risk her career?
I think so, definitely. Yeah.
I just think that just wasn't her way. I mean, and again, I don't know her. You don't know her, like whatever.
Yeah.
But my view on it is, like, I do think like what she said in that interview, right? Like, I don't get into politics. I don't talk about it. But again, I think it's more like that's just not her. There are people that are like, I have my own beliefs, but I'm not the type of person that's going to use my platform, which was massive, right? Like, she had a massive platform to push you to agree with me. What I would rather do is live by an example, which I would much rather people do, which is what gets me so pissed off about certain people that preach, for lack of a better word, of a certain lifestyle and how people should be, and yet are such big ass hypocrites about the whole damn thing. It's like, why don't you just shut your trap on how everyone else should behave, and you show me who you are, and I'll show you what you believe, right? Like, that's it. You show people what you actually believe. You could talk until you're blue in the face about high and mighty this and that, but if you're not living that life, if you're not treating people kindly and yet spouting love thy neighbor, then shove it up your ass and go home. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like, because you don't actually believe it. Yeah, she said, let him look. Yeah. Again, we could talk about the legacy of Dolly Parton, and we will forever. I mean, she is just one of those people that, again, trigger something different in all of us, depending on your age, depending how you know her. It's just who she is.
I saw a quote from her yesterday about business, and someone asked her, like, do you feel like, you walk into a room and you're blonde and, bubbly and you're taken advantage of when in business? And she goes, no, it's very distracting to men. She goes, I walk in and they think of me one way. And before they even know what happened, I turn around, I walk out with all the money in my hand.
Exactly. Exactly. You know what I mean? It's like she was such a good business person. You know what I mean? And that's what's most important. It's absolutely what's most important. And so I will miss her quotes.
Yeah.
I feel like, and we do know now that she had been battling cancer, a very short stint of cancer. Did you also hear that she told them to try experimental medication on her? Because even though it won't help her, that maybe
It's gonna
what they
help
learn,
somebody.
it will help somebody else.
Is that not the most Dolly thing you could possibly hear?
Exactly.
Honestly.
Exactly.
By the way, I have people that play music at my house, and for the last couple of days, it's been all Dolly songs. And I was walking down the hall and I hear Julia in her room singing Coat of Many Colors. And she doesn't let me videotape her, but I caught a little bit of it.
Oh, please play it.
I'm just going to play you the audio. I don't know what this is. I'm just going to play it. Oh, hold on.
Okay.
Here she is. She's sitting on her bed with her guitar.
Told you my story.
Oh, it's not coming through very well.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
No, she's just going to have to come in here one of these days and just play it.
We're going to make her do it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, but Kim, your children are way too talented. I can just get a little taste of that right now. But yes, it is awesome to see how Dolly Parton's legacy will live on. Obviously, Miley Cyrus was her goddaughter. I can't imagine how that must feel, but she has touched Eminem shared a email or a letter that Dolly Parton had written him because he won an award. She said, I wanted to meet you, but at the party or whatever, after the award ceremony, there were so many people and I'm so sorry. She's like, you are so talented. I just needed to tell you that. He saved it. He shared it on her passing. Like, she just crosses genres. She was such a smart businesswoman, such an awesome musician. The number of songs that she has left us. And did you hear that she has written a song to be played on what would have been her 100th birthday?
Yes, yes.
And so we don't know what it is and she's bummed about it, but she's like, it's a really good song. I wish I could release it earlier. But so we have that to look forward to as well.
So that'll be in 2046 or 2045. But what I saw an interview with her that I was looking at last night, and it said that she said she has written so many songs over the years that she has them stuffed in trunks and stuffed in drawers, like things that are half written or things that she liked, but she had never published or whatever. I have a feeling we're going to get more Dolly Parton music before her 100th birthday because there's so much that she left undone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's raise a glass to Dolly Parton, to Tim Curry, Hayden Panettiere, lifelong legacies and gone too soon, even though they're 80 years old. So there you go. All right, we do have a poll that ended. We were asking you at the beginning of the show what we should name this year, this drink. We had a couple of suggestions. And in honor of Dolly, Heather, your drink won. Let me see.
What?
You won with 80% of the vote.
Nice.
The 9 to 5. So we're going to call the end of this drink and another one, the 9 to 5 cocktail. And so I'm taking a sip and I want to give you guys the recipe in case you want to try it because Heather gave us a recipe. Are you ready?
Yeah, what is it?
If you want to make the 9 to 5 cocktail, it's 1.5 ounces of vodka, my favorite. Half an ounce of elderflower liqueur, which you might have to hunt for, but I don't know how common it is. Ounce of cranberry juice, half an ounce of fresh lemon juice, half an ounce of simple syrup. Put some pink sanding sugar on the rim with a lemon wedge. It is bright pink and just like Dolly, our dearly departed. So congratulations.
Can you post that on the community page so we can all have access to it?
Copy this right now. Let me
Thank
copy.
you.
I'm going to put this in the comments.
Okay, cool.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Right there. Here it is. There is Heather's 9 to 5 cocktail.
Yeah.
If you are looking for something to drink tonight or this weekend,
Okay.
it's loading. It's kind of long. If you're looking for something to drink the 9 to 5. Thank you so much, Heather. And if there is a drink that you are drinking because of the news, let us know what it is. Thank you to Harry for the $5 donation and also Louise for the $5 donation. We are 100% viewer and listener supported. So if you love having us here, sharing a cocktail, discussing this week's news, please support the show in any way we can, any way you can, whether that's PayPal. We love PayPal. They don't take a cut. If you use friends and family, also our Patreon. We love our monthly Patreon subscribers, which is a way that you can get in early on the drink poll. So thank you guys so much for donating and supporting our show. All the ways to support are in the show notes, and share the show with your friend because we love to grow our party. All right. Yeah. Do a thumbs up. We will be back here 5:00 Pacific next Thursday. So here's to you. And Ron Cook with a $20 super sticker. Sliding it right in, my friend. I cheers you as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We really appreciate and need your support. So be like Ron and Louise and Harry. Support the show, and we'll see you next Thursday. Cheers. Bye.